You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
I want to talk about news, don't want the drama. From no pretentious media Madonna. I found me a great ganja mama. Cannabis and coffee with Tamarijuana.
Well, I guess I don't have my shit together this morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cannabis and Coffee with me, Tamarijuana. It's been a weekend. Let's just say I put on some kilometers this weekend. I left here Friday. I got home last night at 9:30, and we went south of Regina from here. And it was quite a trip. We, my son and I, Taven and I, tootled off to go out to our friend's place in to their new ranch and picked up Wilbur. He's beautiful. He's all cut and wrapped and fills up my freezer. Anyways, it was a trip. I just miscalculated time. I miscalculated fuel. I miscalculated the whole fucking thing. Would I do it again? Yes. But now that I know where I'm going, it wouldn't be such a heartache. But, when you get on those gravel roads, especially when it's flat, and it's rural route here, rural route there, rural route everywhere, you get lost. And the directions I had, like they'd sent a pin. Google Maps, I tell you what, man. They sent me in directions that I really didn't need to go to. So it was a trip. Anyways, we're home safe. We take the truck back. Everything's good. And I'm here. I made it for my show, and I don't have to work today. I don't have to be back to work until tomorrow. So it all worked out really well. This afternoon, I'm going to be making beef broth. Because I got the whole Wilbur, right? And one of the bags of bones won't fit in the freezer. So it's all unthawed. So I'm going to have to be boiling up some bones and feeding some dogs some bones today, which I don't think they'll be too upset about. But if anybody needs some beef bones, I got lots. And if you're local, of course, because I can't mail them. Anyways, today's show, again, if you want to come on the show, you can. All you have to do is send me a comment, email, comment on the stream, comment on Facebook. And then I can send you the link and you can pop up and we can talk back and forth and discuss it like a panel. I can bring up up to 10 people. So if you know anybody you want to talk, today's topic is growing. Okay. So because it's spring starting and we want to start getting our seeds out there, our seeds into our pods or into our whatever you grow in your rock wool if you're growing outside. But right now, if you're an outdoor grower, now is the time to be popping your seeds and getting them into the dirt because we have a very short grow season in Canada, likely because of and depending on the strain. A lot of people use will go with autoflower, which is fine, but with autoflower you cannot clone those plants and then it's seed every year, right? If you're growing from clone, then you don't have to worry about planting seeds. You're pulling clones off your plants every off your mom or whatever, rooting and restarting, especially if you're growing indoor. And depending on what your cycles are, you can be, pulling off possibly 2 to 3 crops a year indoor, depending on the length of your flower and depending on how large you veg and how long you veg for. So it depends on whether you are an indoor or outdoor grower. I have several expert friends that last year grew outside. Hi, how are you? It's nice to see you. If you want to come up, I can send you the link and we can talk on a panel. So just send me if you would just say yeah, and I can send you the link. But he grew like bonsais. Like I'm talking because of course it's the same thing. Like what's above is always below, right? So if you've got a lot of grow space below, you're gonna have a tree. And my friend Joanna that just said hi, is it actual? She's an expert. Like this woman has set up grow rooms. She's helped other patients start their gardens. She's an expert, like an absolute expert. Like I claim to be, but this is an expert. This is somebody that has started from room setting up and been and consulted. I've never gone that far ahead with consulting. I do. It's just that I've never, and I'm not saying that Joanna charges either. She does. I don't believe that she ever has. But a lot of us will help other patients and help from start to finish and never charge anybody anything. So we're not professionals because you're not considered a professional till you're paid for your craft, right? And if we don't take money because we are kind and don't really think that it's necessary, we're not professionals then, right? We're just volunteers. Volunteer patient advocates, not professionals because we don't get paid. That's how we decipher the difference, I guess. But anyways, so back to so again, there's thousands and thousands of strains now because of hybrid technology, genetic crossbreeding, several different seed companies. But again, because of legalization, they want to barcode the seed and put it all the way through. So you have to basically buy your seeds or your clones through the licensed producers, right? That being said, do what you want. Get them from whoever you want. Do whatever you need to do. But again, of course, legal regulations are for. If you're a patient and have a prescription, you can then, it's 5 plants for every 1 gram. And I've said this several times, and I'll say it again. The Canadian government's ripping off the recreational user by only allowing them to grow 4 plants. You're legally not even growing 1 fucking gram of weed. Just saying. So, and I'm controversial. Everybody thinks, and has their own opinions. Like an asshole, we all got one, right? But I try to tend to keep 2 facts and being unbiased because there's always 2 sides to every story than the truth. And that's how I look at it, right? So literature, like books, hard copy books. Google's great for getting grow tips. Remo's Nutrients is another great resource because Remo has been growing for a very, very long time. And then how do I guess it's not manufactured, produced and well, tested and, tried a bunch of things and did some, research and came out with Remo's Nutrients, right? Their root compound gel is, I would say, number 1 on the market. And it's the most effective that I've ever used. I've used several different rooting compounds when I've been cloning before, and that's the best. I'm just saying. And you can get it even at our local garden center here. You're welcome. Fuck the shit I do for people. Anyway. Yeah, like I said, I just tell it the way it is. And yes, you can get it at a local garden center. You're welcome. Remo's Nutrients available at Top Crop. Yeah, there's your free commercial. I'm kind of in a bitter bitchy mood today. Can you tell? Anyway, back to growing. So this grower's handbook was something that was gifted to me back I can't even remember. And I can't remember who the hell gifted it to me, to be honest. I've been given so many books and stuff, but it's not autographed. Most of my books are even my hemp 101 or cannabis 101 was autographed by Ted Smith, and even Myrna autographed my book, his review book. Anyways, I got several books. I got several shit. I lost a bunch of shit too. But anyways, okay, so basically we're going to start with the grower's handbook. And you want to start, like I said, with cedar clone. And with clone, you can absolutely use root compound. But wherever you're sourcing your clones from, make sure that it's clean. Because, this light just wants to turn itself off. Why? Sorry, folks. Hang on a second. I got to figure out what the hell's going on with this light. It's wanting to turn itself on and off. And I don't want it to turn itself off. I want it to turn itself back on. Why are you doing this to me today? I don't know what's going on with it. Or maybe it's the operator, right? Because the operator doesn't know what she's doing. That would probably be it. There. It's my happy light. It's like a UV whatever, like to ward off depression, give you more motivation. Anyways, it works, I guess. Anyways, back to growing. So, gotta keep on task today. So basically, now would be the time. But you can, like I said, there's several different seed companies. I could recommend a few. Some of them that I used to use don't no longer exist. Unfortunately, things changed. A lot of things have changed. But I know that Crazy Diamond Seed Company out of Calgary is still has seeds available. That is a for sure thing. That's one that I do know is running. I know BC Bud Depot is no longer running. Vancouver Seed Bank is no longer available. Not to be honest, I would imagine you can probably buy seeds at at one of your recreational stores. I've never looked for any seeds at the stores, but I'm pretty sure I've seen them in the stores. So you can access seed at your legal pot store or cannabis store. Again, there are a lot of resources to growing. And a lot of people will say, well, it's just a seed and you plant. It is. It is. It is absolutely just a seed. You water it, you put it in dirt, or you can grow in water. There's hydroponics, there's aeroponics. There's several different systems that you can use depending on whether you're going to be indoor or outdoor. So again, with the regulations in Canada, you're allowed to grow legally 4 plants outdoor, but they cannot be seen in public. So they can't be in your windows. They can't be in the middle of your yard where somebody could possibly see it. So it's I don't know how they're enforcing these regulations. I don't see anybody, probably all complaint based. Like if your neighbor doesn't like your pot plant, they call the RCMP. There might be a problem. But again, I'm not really sure if I know we have community safety units because apparently that's where all our taxation is supposed to be going. But here's a funny story for you. We had an issue at the store. So my coworker, the owner's son, whatever, everybody knows who he is, or here does anyway, was phoning city wanting to know about the permit for the pipe. And if anybody knows Harris, he's pretty how do I put this? He wants answers now. He doesn't like to wait. He's pretty pushy. He can't help it. He's got a disability that makes it so that that's just the way he is. Anyways, so we he phoned the city councilor that he knows to come in and talk to him, or just like was asking him like, what can you do to help me get this moving along faster? I'm not even sure what the total text was. All I know is that day that I was working, that city councilor came into this store and I got him nailed. I said, so where's cannabis taxation money? Why are taxes going up? What the hell is going on? If it's going to addiction and counseling, where's our recovery center? You know what? I got a blank look and didn't know what I was talking about. I said, maybe you better go talk to your city administrator and find out where the fuck the money is. He had no idea. So you're a city councilor sitting on our city council and you don't know that you're supposed to be receiving $11.5 million or whatever it is a year for cannabis taxation and you have no idea. I found that rather disturbing. So I don't know who's collecting the money at City Hall. Or does anybody know who's collecting the money at City Hall? Does anybody know where the money's going at City Hall? Anyway, so back to the fact that if you had a plant, growing in your yard, it would probably have to be complaint basis. Now, I know back when legalization first happened, there was a lady up in, I believe it was Invermere, who had a garden tour. And in her little garden tour, she had her little 4 plants in her garden. And because she had a garden tour and somebody seen them because they were out in public, the RCMP came and ripped them out and caused a great big. She was never charged, but they were ripped out and because they were in public. So, but again, that was right after legalization. We're 6 years in now. I'm not sure how invested the RCMP is in wasting their time on such things as that. But again, who knows if they've got nothing better to do? And if it's a complaint, they kind of have to follow up on it. It's unfortunate, but that's kind of how the police forces work. Is that you have to? It's all complaint based, right? So if you don't, they have to follow up, whether it's within their best interest or not. I guess is kind of how it has to work. But it's funny because it makes no sense as to why they waste their time, especially now. But again, depends on because there are people still out there that don't like legalization. Just saying. Okay, so this book is written by David Robinson, and it's got some really good tips in it. Again, we've got the Hash King and all kinds of different mediums and on YouTube, right? So Remo's Nutrients is one. Mick Mann. Okay, so Mick Mann has been kind of off like the whole scene for I don't know, probably 10 years. He's not really like he is involved, but he's not really. But he used to be the Gorilla Grower on YouTube, and Mick grew some of the best Burmese bud I'd ever sampled. I can't remember if it was Burmese haze or something. I can't remember the exact strain. I know it was Burmese something. I just can't remember the exact name of the strain. But we went out to Saskatoon to a harvest cup one year, and we had brought some of our hash bud, and we didn't have enough to put in as an entry because there was a certain limit. We never grew that much. Like even though we were budding off 30 plants, because they were hash bud, and because it was a very short, stocky, low producing but high quality cannabis, we took it. So we would never get probably any more than about probably 2 pounds off 30 plants. But it was like dank, hard, sticky, beautiful. So we took a jug of that with us, and we opened it, and it was like, "Why didn't you enter this?" I'm like, "Because there wasn't enough." Like there really wasn't. But we shared that. But Mick said that that was probably one of the best buds that he'd ever smoked too. But his Burmese was so good. But again, another great grower to get tips and stuff off of. And like I said before, it is a seed that you're going to put into your dirt or your water or your rock wool or whatever. But nutrients are important to a point in your pH balance in your water. But again, it's your lighting. So the spectrum of your lighting is what actually will bring that bud to fruitation, right? And at the end of it, yeah, the last 4 weeks of your flower too, depending on what nutrient, like there's bud candies and all kinds of different boosts. CO2 you can pump into your room. There are all kinds of different things to make those buds better, right? But again, it's the love and the care. You need to have movement. Those plants need movement. You need to keep your temperatures below 70 degrees because then that will eliminate bugs. Spider mites love heat, right? No matter what, you got flying gnats and I don't know what soil, unless you're using straight water. Any soil even I've gotten from the place that I worked, okay? It was the top premium fucking black gold fucking soil you could get, peat moss and all kinds of beautiful stuff with the sheep manure and all that, mix it all together, right? Even the big bales of fucking sunshine mix, okay? No matter what, you turn the fucking shit into like you turn the lights on and you got gnats, black flies. I don't know where the hell their legs are. So unless you actually put that fucking dirt and bake it in your oven at 200 degrees for fucking at least an hour to kill all the fucking eggs and gnats, that's the only way I can even. And my husband said we need to bake the dirt. No matter what, you need to bake the dirt. And I'm like, but then you're baking the dirt, you're taking out some of the minerals and and the solidifying, you know, good properties in that soil too, right? To kill the bugs. But it seems to be a temperature thing. So we found that if we didn't get our rooms ever over 70 degrees, we never had an issue. You'd still have the flying gnats though, and the little black flies. It doesn't seem to, I don't know. You can fly strips, turning the soil, keeping the top layer of the soil dry because they love the moisture to lay their eggs in. There's so many tips I could tell you about keeping black flies and stuff out of your soil, but do they all work? No. People use cinnamon, people use cayenne pepper. Does it work? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'm not big on pesticides. I'm not big on killing stuff with Raid, and, Dr. Doom, and all these things because it does leave some sort of residue on the plant, no matter whether it dissipates in the air or not. So am I big on that kind of stuff? Not really. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I mean, we had spider mites at one point when we first started growing way back. Like, I'm not going to tell you what year it was. But it was right at the end, right where we had bud, and our buds were beautiful, big, nice. We actually vacuumed the buds. Like we took a nylon and we put it over a little like a vacuum, and we lowered the temperature to try and stop it. But we didn't want to spray. But the only way we could figure to get rid of those and the webbing and everything, we vacuumed. And then now, Al has said this a couple times, and he's actually got videos and stuff. He's been washing his bud. So before he trims, or I think it's before he trims it, or is it? Maybe it's after. I Not real sure about that either before or after. I will switch his bud because he's growing outside too in water, right? And you can see the water change, but it doesn't seem to affect the quality of the bud or take the trichomes off, right? Because you don't want it too cold though, because cold water will knock anything really cold will knock the trichlome off. Why we suggest you freeze your isopropanol and your deep freeze before you wash your bud before you make your RSO. It just is a quick wash. It just knocks it off quick. When you're making hash, bubble hash, you're using ice and water with the bubble bags, right? It's the cold water. It's the ice that, kind of knocks those trichomes off. Why? When people say they're freezing their cannabis in the deep freeze, it's where they store it. I'm like, don't do that. Don't store your bud in the deep freeze, man. All your trichomes are in your fucking bottom of your bag. Like, don't do that. And for years, people we didn't know any better, right? So it's trial and error. A lot, even with growing. Like, I don't know how many times we failed. And that's the thing that we, didn't really make the government understand either when patients were growing is that there's failure. And you can't always get the amount you're able to, consume or what your prescription is, or you get bugs, or you get mold, or you get powdery mildew. Like these are things that all come along with growing anything, right? Whether it's a garden of carrots or tomatoes, or whether it's cannabis. A plant's a plant. It really is. Now, the different flowering stages and the different levels of nutrient and different, pH balance for water, that stuff there, okay, is different for everything. You water roses the same things as you fertilize peonies with, kind of thing, right? It's the same type of biologic science. It's science. So horticulture is a science. So again, you can grow a tomato, you can probably grow a cannabis plant. If you kill a cactus, which I do, I can grow lots of other things, but I can't grow cactuses because I overwater them. You can't overlove it, right? And again, same thing with cannabis. You don't want to overlove the plant. It'll tell you what it needs, but you also don't want to wait till the leaves are growing up and turning brown for it, to try and fix it. And bugs are pretty hard to see sometimes. You get, oh my God, there's all kinds of them. But if you're growing inside, my best suggestion is ladybugs. If you can access them, you can get them online. You can, and if you're using natural organic soils, right, you got your cutter worms and stuff. But again, then you want to, you can get different insects if you want to bring that kind of environment into your grow room, right? If you're growing that way. Again, outside, you're going to have no real control over anything because it's not like you can put a bubble over your plant while it's outside. You're going to get wind, you're going to get dust, you're going to get plants, you're going to get pests, you're going to get whatever's coming your way in the rain too, right? Thankfully, we don't have acid rain anymore. Or did we ever? Anyways, oh, that was good. So this is a because my lovely friend gives our program every once in a while, and we are able legally to gift each other. This is something that was growing. If you can see that, it's hard, it's dank. This was growing outside in southern Ontario. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful dank sun growing. Okay, the sun spectrum way up there. It's the strains too. So depending on the strain, I can't remember what this one's called. I can't. But anyways, like I said, depending too on where you are in the country on how well you're going to be able to grow. Like your southern, parts of the country where you have a longer growing season for everything is ideal, right? If you're in central parts of the country, you've got a shorter grow season because of the way winter rolls in. Usually by the end of October here, where I am, we're getting snow. So if you're not like, and because of the 12 and 12, right? Like you need 12 hours of dark and 12 hours of light to get the cannabis to go into flower. So if you're starting, say September 20th is like what is winter solstice, right? Or 12 and 12 with, I'm talking out my ass right now because I can't remember. And honestly, I better look because I'm not going to give you some misinformation. When does 12 hours of sunlight and darkness start? I think it's September. It could be August. Okay, so 12 hours. I'm going to Google. because I'm just not going to tell you that it is what it is. It's not 12 hours. Light. Okay, starts. So it's the vernal equinox, September 23rd. So I was right in that area. I said September. I was thinking October, but no, I said September. Oh yeah. So that's when you start your 12 and 12 daylight, right? So if you get snow by October, it starts getting zero-ish and starts getting cold. So September to October 23rd is 4 weeks, right? So if you've got a strain that will flower out in 4 weeks, you're good to go. But if you've got a 12-week flowering time, so you put 12 weeks from September 23rd, 12 weeks is 3 months, right? That pitched into December. September, October, November, November, end of November. In Canada, usually by the end of November, we've got like minus temperatures and snow, right? So ideally, that's probably not a plant that you'd want to grow outside something that's a 12-week strain. California, Northern California, they can grow them there, right? Without the emerald, they can grow beautiful stuff because of the difference in grow seasons, right? And like I said, depending on where you are, it's whether you're going to be able to grow anything outside. Why a lot of patients prefer growing indoor, because then you can at least get 2 crops off per year. Normally, at least minimally 2 crops. We were 2 crops because we like to. I didn't veg my plants to this and then start budding. They were 4 or 5 feet tall before I started throwing, and that takes sometimes 3-4 months, right? And then if you got a 12-week flowering, so you get your clone, right? You clone whatever, you get it to this big, then you veg it up till it's like whatever. That can sometimes take 3-4 months, sometimes 6, depending on the strain. And then you've got a 12 weeks, so another 3 months. So again, like depending on the strain. And then again, if you're using autoflower, whether you're cloning, whether you're starting from seed, there are just so many different variables. I got something in my eye, sorry. Anyway, we're going to go to a commercial, and then we will kind of skim through this, but there's nothing really in here that I'm not telling you. And it's not like I've read this book word for word. If I need reference to something, I will go kind of skimming through. But hands-on experience. And I was lucky enough to, I don't know, luck. I had boyfriends that grew cannabis. Luck. And I learned by watching, and I learned by doing, and I learned by the plant. Again, because I had a good sense of, I've always had lots of house plants and stuff. And, when we moved here too and up to the farm, I was able to learn some agriculture stuff and about even wheat and canola. And those kinds of things all go variably hand in hand with agriculture. Because even now, the licensed producers it's medical and it's agriculture, right? Because of the Health Canada being hand in hand with it, because of the patients and because it's classified as a controlled drug and substance, you have Health Canada regulating something that Agriculture Canada should be regulating. Like bushels of wheat, barley, oats, cannabis, tomatoes, lettuce, cannabis, not Percocet and insulin and cannabis. See where I'm going with this? Okay, we'll be back. I'm going to take a quick break for our commercials to thank our beautiful sponsors that keep us all going, which is Limestone Hydroponics, Camelford Lifestyle Show, and Legacy 420. And of course, both our producers, Al and Al. We'll be right back.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and in the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have two lines of drinks. One is called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with, and then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
All right, we're back. And we were talking about growing before the break. And was wondering if anybody that grew wanted to come up, but apparently nobody got in touch with me. Oh my goodness, it's just been a day already. But I should probably check and see if anybody did want to come up. Doesn't look like it. Nobody ever wants to talk to me on here. It's funny because nobody wants to talk to me on here. But TikTok is a whole different